Good morning, everybody. It's John from Veganism KILLS. It's Thursday, December 16th. To some of you guys out there, I had to shit test you because I can't trust anybody because, again, they tried to hack my computer and they're trying to find out exactly what I know. So I figured, let's give everybody a little taste of what I know about Edward Gaunt and what I found on him and what I found out about Serge. Now, most of you don't know I used to work at Citibank, and I was in private banking. I worked with the richest people in New York and around the world. I actually controlled the access, the egress, and the ingress of money on their behalf. I was the watchdog of the private banking part of Citibank. 75% of the accounts and their transactions had to pass through my eyes to make sure they were done correctly and legally. I worked with the legal department. I worked there at Citibank at least 5 years. I worked at Chase and stock loan. I helped set up their stock loan. The first 6 months I was there, I made them an extra $1 million. I worked under Avi Stein. When I was at Citibank, I worked under Sally Krawcheck. Now, what I see is what I know. We all know Ed has bought, through Serge, 18 acres in the Midlands of the UK for approximately 2.3 million pounds, which equals roughly $3 million USD. And he said that was all from donations. The problem with that is that Ed had received substantially more than $3 million, and the whereabouts of that money are unknown. I can prove that he at least made $3 million, and he's still asking for donations and still not disclosing his financial records properly, even including that asset of that new Surge farm has been done on the account on the reporting side. It has been done wrong, and he didn't disclose he had that much money in Surge to actually go out and purchase that animal sanctuary or farm, whatever you want to call it. Now, we all know Earthling Ed's real name is Edward Gaunt. He would like you to believe it's Ed Winters. Right there, somebody is looking for donations and they use a fake name. In my line of work, that would already be a red flag. To top it off, the person he started off with, James Espy, James doesn't use his real name, and he absconded donations that were intended for an animal sanctuary and pocketed them. I've spoken to all parties, 2 parties involved in that, one whom I actually donated to, myself, and I spoke to her. James Espy is not James's real last name. Let's just leave it at that. And these 2 guys started out together, and they seem to be in lockstep with their financial irregularities. So now you see Serge. Serge campaigning CIC. You see it right there. This is where you would donate the money that they use to help buy Serge Sanctuary. So if Serge campaigning bought Serge Sanctuary, there has to be a financial record that they had that money on hand to buy that sanctuary. So this is the company that's receiving the donations and would be holding those funds to pay for that animal sanctuary, and they would have to have a proper record that they actually have those funds to actually buy that sanctuary. So let's see what it says. See, incorporated 2019. Meanwhile, Serge has been collecting money, I do believe, as early as 2016, before they changed it into a CIC, because this has never been a registered charity whatsoever, Serge. Never has been. Until Bobby's Perspective put up that video, and all of a sudden it seems like Earthing Ed had an epiphany, so to say, and then he tried to apply for charity status, and he was denied. So he registered as a community interest company. That's what CIC stands for. Yet the nature of the business is SIC, Standard Industry Company, for educational purposes. Now, what most people don't realize is that you can actually get the unaudited financial statements of Surge Campaigning CIC from July 29th to July 31st. July 29, 2019 to July 31st, 2020 for Surge Campaign. And yes, indeed, these are his actual financial statements and his signatures on it. Edward Gaunt's signatures on it. Now let's take a look at the financials. Well, you could see Surge Campaigning CIC. So it is legit. Notes to financial statements. Director Edward Gaunt. It wasn't signed till November of this year, and I'll show you it too. Cash in bank is £135,000, which is equal to, at the current rate, about $180,000 USD. Yet, the asset of the farm's value, the assets, the farm is worth about 2.3 million pounds. It's not listed if it was bought prior or after, and that I'm not sure of. So if the farm wasn't bought at the time, where is the 3 million pounds, the 2 million pounds? Where are they? Where is it? You either got to have one or the other here. Either the assets worth, the sanctuary is worth 2.3 million pounds and has to be listed under assets here and added into the bottom figure, or the money has to be here. Both of them can't be missing. A credit, debit, double book entry. That's what accounting is. Ask any accountant. I'll have other accountants back me up. Where was the money that he used to purchase the sanctuary? If it was not inside Surge Campaigning's account, it was somewhere else. It's supposed to be there. Where was it? Was the sanctuary bought on a whim because people started to realize he had no intending purpose to buy a sanctuary? After he probably collected over 2.3 million pounds. He probably collected triple, quadruple that, maybe 10 times that amount. But it's obviously he's not telling you any truthful amount here. Of course, if either he would have had the asset listed here at the farm as an asset, or he would have had the cash he used to buy that asset here in his books, where it's supposed to be, because that's where the donations were intended for. See? Do you understand? Surge Campaigning was responsible for raising the funds for Surge Sanctuary. If at the time they did not purchase the farm, then the money for that farm would have to be listed in cash in bank. Yet it's not, and neither is the farm listed as an asset. Does anybody understand what I'm talking about? I used to work in the private banking in Citibank. The richest people in the world, I handled their accounts. I was in charge of 75% of the accounts. My eyes are supposed to watch all the financial activity of all of these people who trust me. And if I see any irregularities, I was over the accountants. I watchdog the accountants and the service officers. Now, if there was an irregularity, it was my job to catch it. This is what this is, an irregularity. No money was taken out of you. No money was in your account to purchase that farm, but somehow money out of nowhere, non-reported cash, showed up and he purchased that farm, and then he failed to fucking report it as an asset for Surge. There's no record that even Surge had the cash to make the purchase, which means that money is not in Surge's bank account. Where's the money? You know what this looks like? This looks like just enough to cover the expenses, while the donation money is God knows where. And I'm telling you, he collected more than $3 million USD in donations. But nobody's going to know because he won't disclose it where he's supposed to disclose it. And if you don't believe this is his statement, there's his signature right there. Edward Gaunt. And there's the date he signed it. All after Bobby's perspective mentioned and talked about this stuff, Ed sprung into action and started trying to register his Surge as a charity, trying to register his restaurant as a charity. On his restaurant, in the window, before he moved to the other side, he said this restaurant was charity. He lied to you. Okay, you thought you were doing something good. Nobody knows where that money is. There's no board of accounting for Surge who will tell you where the money's going. There's only one person here signing for it, Ed. And Ed's the only person who'll put his name wherever he's got that money to move it by check. I used to do that. My signature, I could wire out $200 million with just the signature when I was consulting. I was very well trusted with people's money, large amounts. Again, if you purchased a property with Surge money like you claimed, how come the assets were not in the Surge account, bank account? One red flag. Number two, if you purchased the farm during this time frame between July of 2019 to July of 2020, then the asset should be listed again on the Surge balance sheet. It is not. Two red flags. Take this from somebody that's working in banking. Where did the money come from? $3 million USD. Where did it come from? Where was it being kept? Obviously not where it needed to be kept. And not only that, there's also, which I found his portfolio, which is valued at $68 million. Yet they will not disclose what's in his portfolio. He has an extensive portfolio of stocks, bonds, and other holdings, probably other properties, that he refuses to disclose, including the fact, as we heard, he lives in a penthouse in Soho, a very expensive place. London. But those are rumors. This I can prove. There's at least $3 million missing off the books of Surge. In assets and in cash. The cash that he bought the asset wasn't registered in Surge. So there you go. And there's his signature. Edward Gaunt, director, his signature. This is when he signed it, only in November. I got other financial statements. I got more. And on that note, I'm out of here. You guys, you know, I feel really bad that this fucking guy can actually sit there and rip you off with a straight face. He doesn't even use a real name. He doesn't report the money in his donations. He doesn't report what he's doing with the donations. The money's not even in the account where it belongs. And he's making large purchases with it with just his signature. And you're going to tell me he's not going to go and spend, he has free reign to spend this money, and he's not going to spend it. Please. He's really got you fooled. And on that note, I'm out of here.